Welcome back to Cryptopia, where we go over the wet and wild happening in NFT land. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in. Today, I'm going over Meta Mansion. Now, this has been getting some notice and it's starting to pop off, so I figure we'll take a look at it. Also, somebody mentioned it in the comments. Now, I'm going to try and do as deep as dive into this as I possibly can through this video, so it might get kind of long, but we'll see what happens. So what do I think about this project even before we really get balls deep into the information? It's really hard to tell. I mean, we're going to go over everything, but everything I've gone through, the people, the white paper, the token, etc. You know, it's one of those projects where it's like, hey, you could really pull this off. It is possible. And if you do, it'd be crazy. But herein lies the problem of a lot of the people that I have in here are very young. Not all of them, but the people on the back and the people doing the design for the metaverse, the art, the modeling for the mansions, those guys are proven and have been around for a significant amount of time. I think 4 or 5 years is the minimum, and then we're looking at high as 10 years for some of the metaverse stuff, some of the art stuff, some of the architecture that they're trying to push. So that kind of stuff is really like, okay, cool, you guys actually know what you're talking about at that point, or at least I can trust that you know what you're talking about. But the people who are running it, they seem very young. I can't tell how young they are. They some of them range, so like, okay, you're looking like you're getting to your 30s, mid 30s. Some of you other guys look like you just got out of high school, and some of them really did just got out, not high school, but out of college, graduated in 2020, 2021, and you guys are the front runners of the ship. So you can have great engineers at the bottom deck, but if the guys navigating still fuck it up, it really doesn't matter. If they're crashing into icebergs, into mountains, into beaches, it doesn't matter how good your engineering team is, you're still in charge. So that's one of the issues I have with it right out the gate, is that other than that, though, everything else seems it could get done. It really just comes down to the leadership in this particular project about whether or not they're going to be able to get it done. I'm going to go over everything as well. It seems cool. If they can pull it off, great. Can they pull it off? That's the problem. And I'm going to go over all the people involved, mainly because that's how you're really going to be able to tell. It's like, what's your history? Have you done something similar in the past, and can you do it again? We'll see. So Meta Mansion, 8,888 luxurious residents built on the Ethereum blockchain. So these guys have a pretty significant following, 51.2 on Twitter. Their Instagram's not too big, but 26,000. But Meta Mansion's Discord, now that's where the party's happening, with 87,000 members. So these guys are essentially trying to be, if you guys know like Bapes, for example, they're promising some crazy stuff, but these guys are a little bit more essentially focused on real estate development in the metaverse, building mansions, providing plots, a place where you can go buy, sell, host events, a whole plethora of things that you can do if you own the land on that spot. Now, if their metaverse is popular enough to bring all these people in, or if the people who buy these are popular to bring all these people in, this can definitely happen. But again, they're promising a lot, as some have in the past, and can they deliver on it? Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to give you the information. You can decide for yourself. So live in the metaverse of your dream while enjoying real life benefits through unique revenue streams and a powerful global community. Exclusive to keys token holders only. So from my understanding, it does say here you must hold at least 100 keys to mint. The amount of keys you own correlate to essentially how your hierarchy standing. The more keys you hold, the more benefits you can get further along in the Meta Mansion's grand scheme, their whole plan. So 100 at least. Keys are not too expensive. I think they're like 0.07 a key, something like that. Biome mutations. So again, these are pretty cool. They got different levels of it, and it gets pretty crazy as you get to the lower levels and stuff. And that's kind of cool. They showcase a little bit here, the crystal stuff, the island stuff. After that, that's kind of it. They've got ice, they've got jungle, they've got this desert, they've got savanna, forestry. Those stuff are still coming soon. So then there's also, they're giving away a 8,888 Ethereum. This is a bit weird. I don't understand why they're doing it this way. They're giving away 800 Ethereum to one lucky winner who basically had just minted a Meta Mansion. a few days after, or 18 days after the Meta Mansion mint sale is out, they're going to select one member who gets 800 Ethereum and a bunch of others that get the remainder. And so, oh yeah, so they got 12 members who get 8 Ethereum each. I don't know why not just distribute the 888 among the 12 winners or whatever. Like, just pick a series of winners and distribute them among them. One guy gets, the other guys still get a good amount of money. 8 Ethereum is nothing to scoff at. I think that's almost like $100,000 or something like that. But still, why do it this way? Where one guy just becomes like a gazillionaire overnight and the others just sort of, make some decent money. This team does look pretty nice. I'm not going to lie about that. That the team does look pretty good. So finally, we're in the team. I really hate that they have this scrolling thing here. It's so annoying. And I swear to God, when I got later on in some of the people, it got faster. It's like, let me just read what this says. Anyways, Nima. So he's a CEO and a co-founder. So this is a little strange. His LinkedIn is no longer here. I don't know why it's not working. I had already read this before, so I know it exists. Okay, so weird that his LinkedIn link that was working literally yesterday is no longer working today. But here he is, co-founder at Keys Token. So this guy's got, some semblance of experience, and he's got like a founder of Grime Butler. Grime Butler is a team of highly skilled and ambitious individuals with a common goal and vision. We are obsessed with Instagram as a sales, marketing, and networking channel. They essentially show you how to improve and gain traction using your Instagram via their way. So, he's got a significant amount of followers, I'd say, 54K followers. He's an entrepreneur. And you can see on here, he's got a lot of pictures of himself doing some crazy stuff. So it's nice that, he's out there and he's showcasing himself out here. But, rich guy doing rich guy stuff. If he is indeed that rich, he made this thing. Don't know why. So he was also the managing director at House Media, which is this big Instagram page with 1.7 million followers, which kind of just showcases houses. He's there showcasing some metaverse stuff, some meta mansion things, as well as a bunch of other real estate, cars, etc. So this guy's, been in the housing industry. A lot of these guys are, especially at the beginning, in the housing industry, in the real estate market. That's kind of predominantly what they do. So it does make sense for them to basically trying to take those expertise and move them into the metaverse and trying to basically do the exact same thing they did in reality, but via the metaverse. So what I like about this guy is he does have some experience. He's ran businesses, he's ran social media platforms. He's well known in the housing market, or at least that's kind of his bread and butter, where he spends his time and the connections he's got. A lot of times when you see these, that nobody really has any experience, and so or they have like less than a year, which is going to happen as we get further along, unfortunately, but it does get a little bit better too as well. So we'll take on the next guy. So this is Daniel, building the future of Web3 and real estate. He's the CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Keys. So I think, is this one of them? Yeah, so this was kind of what I was just saying about the experience stuff. Now you do have sort of the person running the show, the first guy, Nima. He's got about 5+ if not more years experience from what we just saw. But we come over here for this guy, and I think they do mention him as looking to make my statement. Okay, so so it's not this guy I was thinking of. It was another person. But essentially, you can see here, not including the Keys stuff, software dev engineer, 1 year, 3 months, and then internship, teacher assistant, software developer. He did, has a bachelor's of computer science, graduated in 2020. So it's 2022. So not a lot of time to be in, kind of by yourself, running the role, zero supervision. Not to say he's not good, not to say he couldn't do it, but we're investors, so we're trying to see, like, what have you done prior to this that gives me the confidence to give you my money? And So, take from this what you will. It's not to discredit him at all. It's simply just saying that, this man graduated in 2020 with his bachelor's. And, he does have a business diploma as well, management. So it's not to say he could not do it, but does he have the experience to pull off something so grandiose as what this project is trying to do? Take from that what you will. So next is Noah. He's the chief product officer, right? So again, we're running into a lot of these guys who are, more or less fresh out of their education and sort of diving into a big project with a lot of moving parts. What they're trying to do requires a lot of work, right? So not counting the Meta Mansion stuff, he's the founder of Octane Collective. Octane Collective is essentially sort of just another marketing, social media, digital marketing company, similar to the Grime Butler that we had at the beginning. This is what we do. We future-proof brands by positioning them for digital success. And that's, And so that's basically what they try to do is establish your brand online and blow that up. So as the chief product officer, I mean, being able to do this kind of stuff is necessary. It's good to have that. So he's been doing this for about a year and 11 months. Not too long, but he survived. So another thing to even keep in mind is that these guys have survived, that first year hurdle, right? Of most businesses sort of just falling flat on their faces. But like when you hit that 90%, it's not necessarily like they fail 90% in the first year. It's more like they fail 90% over 5 years. The first year weeds out most of them, and then the following years sort of trickle through. So he's still got some years left to go. But the fact that at least he's founded his own company and he's stepping out there and he's been able to survive for a reasonable amount of time, does that put him in a good position to lead again? These are like what they're trying to do here. I think requires a lot more experience. This guy looks very young. There's going to be a lot of hurdles. There's going to be a lot of problems along the way. Not even just not even just when you just start making this all of a sudden. Like your first year might be smooth sailing. Things might go perfectly well. You know what I mean? It's over the next several years that will determine how you handle dealing with the ups and downs and the ebb and flow of the metaverse, where, really we don't know what's happening just yet. Right? This is all just one big experiment that we're all partaking in, and we really don't know exactly where it's going to go. Next is Connor. So I like Connor a lot better in terms of what the LinkedIn resume sort of shows me, just because, he's got, not counting the key stuff, of course, co-founder of Flex AI, the NCOO, and he's kind of been doing that for 4 years. So he's about to go over the 5-year make it or break it. And if he's made it this far, chances are pretty high he's probably going to make it to that last year. He's most likely not treading water. He's also the co-founder of Mercy, which is a clothing brand. And then Flex AI is a workout app. I'm actually surprised that this survived as long as it did, simply because the app itself, as someone that goes to the gym and works out, I read about this app and I'm like, I can't get the app. I'm on Android, and I think it's only available on iPhone. Yeah, only available on iPhones right now. But this essentially just tracks, all the information for you, which I guess is helpful. I don't have to track that much information. Once I did my calories and I found my meal plans, it's sort of just cycling through them. I know what they do and how they work, but I guess for other people, it's easier. I know the workouts I'm going to do. This keeps track of your workouts, your meal plans, your progression. And I guess that might be very useful for bodybuilders, maybe some athletes who are just trying to figure it out. It's fitness simplified, a trainer in your pocket for free. So, and I guess there's micro transactions on there as well. But anyways, the fact that this survived, especially in the fitness game, which, there's not a tremendous amount of new ways to innovate on it. There's sort of an app for everything that you can find, and I don't use any of them. And I go to the gym 5 times a week, and I don't use any of them. So, and then you got Mercy, which was a clothing brand that I didn't hear about from before. These guys are located in Vancouver. But It's a clothing brand, and so that survived it at least a year and a month for now, which is very hard to make those work. It's one of the, I think, easiest industries to sort of just kind of get involved in. I have several friends that I know that are involved in clothing. It's very easy to sort of just slip in there. It's very hard to rise to the top. So, and keep trudging it out year after year. So we'll see. This guy has a little bit more experience in doing different things and sort of, keeping them running. And as a COO, the chief operating officer, he's sort of second in command to the CEO. So if those two are sort of running the show, it does lead toward a better idea that they're going to be able to hopefully move in a direction that actually is profitable for everybody. So Jaden Bloom is the next guy, and they really don't have anything on him here. No connections to him, no links. He's a co-founder. So this is Jaden Bloom's LinkedIn. It wasn't hard to find. You can Google him and he just kind of pops up. Not a lot of information on the background of what he's done outside of the keys stuff and some West Bank Corp contractor work. He's the CCO, the Chief Commercial Officer, overseeing brands, overseeing the strategy, the campaign, the marketing campaign for their product. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a tremendous amount of work on here, so it's hard to really tell the rest of what he has done, can do, will do in the future. Lastly, Thibaut. I think I'm saying that right. Also, so all of these guys that we just went through are co-founders, by the way, as well, on top of their secondary jobs. So these guys are collectively working together. Oh, I mean, everybody in the project is collectively working together, but these guys are the original founders of the project, and so they ideally should have huge stake in the game. Another co-founder of several Web 2 and Web 3 based companies is what it says about Thobo here. And then just some short images of him, being rich in different places, basically. What does it say about him on the metaverse is reaching new heights with meta mansions, real estate, trading, and digital marketing have been an area of passion and expertise for many years. This project brings us all together and creates a fucking bitch of a fucking thing. This project brings us all together and creates an entire new way of enjoying digital assets. Gotta hate this thing. Don't ever have this. Excited to bring this vision to life and build the best NFT collection the world has ever seen. Doesn't really tell us jack all about the guy. Doesn't really tell us jack all about what he's able to do. What is he counted as? He's the CEO, or sorry, he's just a co-founder. So he's a guy in the project. Maybe he's got money, so he's kind of an investor. I mean, he's friends with Nima over here. A lot of these guys are young, and it's always a problem sort of with NFTs. Like, there's a lot of young guys in it, ambitious go-getters. You know what I mean? They have the drive to do it. Can they get it done? Sometimes I see, a lot of projects that will get, a lot of hype. They'll have the people, they'll have the backing, but the people who are the front runners, who are actually driving the ship, they don't know how to steer. They don't know how to navigate because they don't do it enough. They haven't done it enough. And they sort of been left alone with all of this money, thinking like, well, if we have the money, we can get it done. Money isn't enough to get anything done. You need the right people to also get it done. So taking a look at the team real quick. Lando, for short, Landon. God, I hate these things so much. Provides a decade of combined experience in visual design, innovative technologies, cryptocurrencies, and multi-billion-dollar architecture, engineering, construction industries. His extreme attention to detail results only the finest quality of deliverables for keys and the metaverse collection. I guess we will have to see. He's the project manager. Not that guy. Lando is the project manager. There's not a tremendous amount. There's not a thing to his LinkedIn or anything like that. This is sort of what you can find for him, which doesn't really give us any details. It doesn't give us any information. It doesn't give us some sort of resume that would be useful to determine, how far back he's been working on different projects and whatnot. So we kind of just have to leave it as it is. He does have his Instagram here, and it does show off his life. You know what I mean? It's a nice, cute little family. He's made a lot of money. He's active. Seems like a trustworthy dude. Seems like a guy who's made something of his life in some capacity. So we'll see. So this is Alex Monti. He's been a full stack developer. So he works on the back end for 5+ years. That's him right there, I believe. Tweets are protected, so you can't really see anything that he's talking about. So Alex graduated in 2021. Very, very recent. And it's not to say he couldn't have been doing work during his school year. But when I was filmmaking back in the day, I did a lot of work in between my studies as well. My projects for school, I would work on projects on the side. But I don't really count most of that until after. Now, obviously, you can put it on your resume because it looks cool. It looks nice. But I'm going to count him after his graduation, which is basically kind of the front end developer for Spotify. Not that any of the other stuff is not relevant at all, because he's done a ton of he's done some internships. He's worked at a fair amount of different places. Even though they're all internships, he obviously did learn something from each place that he went to. But this seems to be the only time where you were sort of just left to your own devices. Because as an internship, there's still someone looking over you. When you start doing your own work, it's complete the work, show it to me, let me see if it's done properly. Cool. Not done properly, here, go back and do it again. No hand holding going on there. But they say 5+ years. Yeah, it's more like a few, like 11 months, a year and a bit. So next, Jerry is a lead engineer at Keys. He loves keeping up with the latest and greatest technologies, according to these guys. Let's see. So he too has his Instagram privatized. Again, that's fine, but it doesn't really help transparency purposes. But I mean, you can see who he is. He is also the lead, he's the lead engineer, software engineer. He's the lead engineer, I believe, on this particular project. Him and Alex, who we just looked at, are working on the back end of things. And he's got the more experience on it. And I believe they call him the lead here. Yeah, he's a lead engineer at Keys, and he does have more experience as well. So if he's working with Alex, who does have a significant amount of experience, this is really nice. Currently software engineer at Steam Labs. He's been there for 2 years and 6 months. He's a founder of Dutch Way. This guy in particular does a lot, is like, I guess, in Europe. A lot of the stuff he's working on is pretty much there, even though Keys seems to be a Vancouver, Canadian centric project. This guy in particular, all of his information seems to be Amsterdam, Netherlands, Dutch Way development, things like that. But as you can see, so development, 1 year and 8 months. He's got 2 more years and 5 months. He's got 5 years over here, 2 years over here. So he's got a lot more experience working in this industry. And so that's him as the lead working with Alex. Seems like a good team. So next is Navjeet, who's the head of the metaverse development. This is actually operating on a different company called Genius Ventures Inc. So it's not necessarily this guy alone. It seems this guy's sort of the CEO of this company, and they work in AR, VR, XR, which I didn't know was a fucking thing. XR, it was like a mixture of AR and VR and reality. It's like a mixed reality thing. Genius Ventures. So these are the guys that are going to be running their metaverse development, and they do operate in VR, AR. Like this is the metaverse is sort of like their bread and butter before the metaverse was even a thing. That was crazy. And they work with Adidas, Facebook, Verizon, Microsoft, Honda, UPS, right? And then here we go, right next to UPS is the Keys logo that they are indeed working with Keys. You can't click on these things to get a little bit more information, but they've added them to their front page. And these guys have been around for 4 years, 3 months. So that's a pretty good amount of time to kind of be around. And especially working in a space like this one, kind of before the metaverse was really a big thing. But they obviously were able to provide services that were necessary for other companies. And they're going to be working with these guys here. Albert has been a digital marketing expert and key piece of the success of the @House network on Instagram. So he's their marketing genius, right? And if you kind of take a look, so we saw it was like 1.7 million on the House media that Nima is sort of in charge of looking after. And so what we have here, 253K, still a good amount, but so this, oh my God, what the hell happened here? That sucks. And you can see, the lavish, luxurious posts that we've seen. And basically that's what he does. He travels, yachts, cars, and houses. He's a social media guy, and he's a marketer. That's what he does. He markets, and this is part of his connections. And sure, it's a pretty pop-in page, clearly. So Taylor, with a vast in-depth knowledge of NFTs and Web3 technology, Taylor is the forefront of building communities within the NFT space. I mean, they say that doesn't really have much of a following here or here, but he's got no posts yet. So he made 6,800 followers and no posts yet. That's kind of weird. I mean, sure, people could have just like seen his name and came on like I just did right now, but I doubt most people are looking this far into it, finding this guy and then clicking on it. I guess in their Twitter, in their main Twitter, they could have mentioned him. The main Meta Instagram, they could have mentioned him as well. He's the community manager though, and so I imagine that most of his work is being done via the main websites, the main social media handles, and not necessarily his own handle. Lead metaverse designer. So I love these guys. I'm not going to spend too long on these guys. You can look up all their names. They all each are very good at what they do. Maybe I can show some of their stuff actually. So this guy is an architectural designer. You can check out his portfolio here. We can take a look at that real quick. I mean, you can read all this information about him, but you can see all the cool stuff that he likes to do. He's very much like a digital visualizer when he designs his stuff. And he's got a lot of cool looking things that are perfect for like the metaverse, for what the Keys plan is to do. And he's just got a ton of it. And this is like, I think he is verified actually as well. Yes, he is verified. And it was pretty cool. Same thing with this guy as well. Also been working in sort of the industry for a long time. This Ian Kent. So Ian I liked a lot too, actually, when I first saw him. He's a CEO and founder of this like nomad micro houses thing. And if you ever come across that, you probably have at some point hear about these tiny houses that people were buying and going crazy for. Very minimalist living. So he's been doing that for like 10 years. So like a significant amount of time. Obviously the kind of guy that knows what he's doing in his industry. You can see here, I don't like that his website doesn't have a secure at the top right over there, but top left over there. But this is what he does. He sells these compact, worldwide shipping home assembles. Like, that's crazy. Like, you just buy like a mini home, which I think is kind of funny. But again, another guy who's been in that industry. These guys are a studio. As you can see here, Machine Gun Studios on their main account. They do mention them. Now, they're not a huge following, but again, they're a studio, but it's not to say they're like, everyone's running and knows about these guys. I'm sure there are people that do know about these guys, but they've worked on a lot of projects. They sell these textures, these 3D images, 2D images stuff. That's kind of what they do. They've worked with things like Gears of War, for example, and they kind of have like these kind of old timey or dingy or ruined looking environments or futuristic environments using the Unreal Engine, which is a huge thing for this particular project. They talk constantly about using the Unreal Engine to develop their metaverse and try and make it look as good as possible. Najar, again, another designer who's got copious amounts of really good looking work. And Kobe is much the same, being in the industry and really flexing though. This guy flexes hard, man. Like the stuff he's got going on here looks insane. So that's them. And then this guy's not really any different. Same thing with the art in this particular case. Been around, has a similar page set up with some really cool stuff. So I like this because they have a significant amount of people that are kind of behind them. They have their advisors here, co-founder and board of advisor. All of them have, extensive history in the digital marketing, real estate niche. And that's what they really try to push. The thing I don't like, I guess it can't be helped. But what I liked about the other guys we just looked at, majority of what you see, you see the pretty girls, you see the cars, but what you see is a lot of like real estate related things. What I don't like is this guy who, I guess he's an entrepreneur, but this is just a flashy Instagram showcasing how rich and fantastic and how many hot girls he sleeps with kind of lifestyle. You transform your mind, transform your life, digital marketing. He's marketing though. He's marketing here. 21.5K, maybe market better, I guess. I don't know. But it doesn't really show off his business capabilities, and he's a co-founder, but he's also an advisor. And then there really isn't anything too much to say about this guy. He's the same as the other one. He's board of advisors. I didn't really find much of a link for his stuff. Apparently he's worked in in the industry of automotive, robotics, AI, IT tech. So we'll kind of just have to take their word for it on that one. Another board of advisor. Tony over here, 10 years managing broker. So that's predominantly what he does. I don't think he founded this, but he has been working here managing as a real estate broker for 10 years. So now we're talking someone that's going to be giving some great advice, no doubt, if they have connections with that person. And then Neil Roy, and similar to some of the other guys, is showing off a lot of pretty girls, fast cars. If I don't seem super, super, super excited about those kind of things, it's just like that doesn't help me determine the worth of your NFT just because you're rich. You can still be rich and still have a bad idea, by the way. Like that's not it's not impossible. So now I'm going to take a look at the Lightpaper real quick and just sort of, maybe break apart some things here. So, we are talking about this living in the metaverse, 8,888 residential spots. It's going to be completely immersive. The mansion NFT owners will have access to 3D, VR, AR versions of their mansion. So there's going to be, you can take pictures of you in real life next to your mansion, stuff like that, right? It's customizable and you can earn passive and active income. So this is one of the things where it's like, yeah, you can do this if you can get the people to come. I know they do have a basketball player. I was on their Twitter and they do have a basketball player that's sort of repping. I forget who it was. That doesn't really matter though. Again, I've said this before. We have tons of celebrities who endorse projects all the time. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they did the research into the project, that they really understand what the people are saying, that the people who are saying it, might be selling them snake oil. And they don't know because everyone's metaverse right now. Everyone's NFTs. So it all sounds cool. And then you have Kim Kardashian, I think, suing the guys who hired her for Ethereum Classic, because now she's mad about it because now she probably has a better understanding of what she was getting herself involved in, or she got so much backlash from it and she's still getting backlash from it. Who knows, right? So you can make passive income through rental income, advertising, product placement, sponsorships, data dividends. You can bring people over, host events, things like that. There's active income as well. Yeah, like I said, hosting events, educational spaces, which would be cool. Like these are all really dope things that if you can pull them off, they're going to work, right? So when you do own one of these meta mansions, you will be getting an airdrop, a residential plot of land in the Keys metaverse. Everybody who owns a meta mansion gets these. So 8.88 ETH is a steep price. I understand it though. We just went over the entire team and everybody that's involved in it, and that is a lot of people to pay. Like frankly, that's just a lot of people to pay to do a lot of work. So and 0.8 ETH does kind of make sense for me just because it's an expensive ordeal trying to accomplish everything they're trying to accomplish. Will they get people to jump on for like, what is that, like what is 0.8 ETH? Like $3,000 of an investment? Maybe. Things are not looking great economy wise, and I don't know how many people have that extra cash to just throw around. But I'm sure people do. So you never know. And so they say why? Because the quality is going to be top of the line, the utility, the ability. I mean, the utilities or whatever. Everybody offers the same. Everyone offers passive income, active income, etc., etc. They're going to say the NFT is going to go to the roof, to the moon, whatever, and we're going to be able to like get your money back 10 times fold, yeah, whatever. But the quality, I could understand that with the amount of people they have working for them, they could make a great, very high quality product. The longevity of it, I mean, who really knows? How can you even say longevity? Like the whole metaverse idea, everything about it could crash and burn fucking tomorrow. We don't know. Right? So you can't say longevity anything, to be honest with you. And you know, it's more than just an NFT. Everything's more than just an NFT. Everyone has to stick out some way. Is it more than just an NFT? No, it's not. Unless you want to say it's a security. But it's not. This one's not really a security. I think Bapes is still a security by the way that they describe what they're trying to do. This one, not so much. Less so than because you're just kind of buying digital space. So this is how they're distributing, I guess, the actual NFT throughout the people. So 95% of it during the public sale will be given out. That's 8,444. Excuse me. The founders will keep 2%, 178. The partnerships will be, so they do have connections with some people, and so they have allocated 1.5% of total Meta Mansion NFT supply for future use in partnerships and collaborations to continue growing, adding value to, and improving, etc., etc. And then the investors, I guess they had like some angel investors, and they're going to get some, 133 will be set aside for those guys. This is how they mention where they're going to be doing all their stuff. Obviously, marketing, the managing team, etc. The usual stuff. Again, I said that what they're trying to do is expensive. And they're giving away 888 ETH regardless. But that only happens after they sell out, which makes sense. If they do sell out at 0.8 ETH with 8,000, like how much? Like fuck, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Not going to do the math. That's a lot of money. So I think I already mentioned the 8,888 giveaway and how weird it was that they're giving away 800 ETH to one person, but like the other 11 or 12 people get like 8 ETH or whatever. So 30 unique bases. The Meta Mansion NFT collection consists of 30 unique mansions bases designed by our in-house digital architecture team. What I do like is you can actually, you can decorate it, right? It's your spot, so you can decorate it inside and look, really change it, really make it unique to your personal place. Similar to how you would your house and your place. Obviously, that's given, but it's just nice that you are actually able to do that. I hope you can bring in other stuff, even if it's a place where you can show. I'm sure you can do this. Showcase your NFTs within the bigger NFT that you owned. I think it would be pretty cool. The team has created over 100 unique generative attributes that can be applied to the mansion bases using our so there's 38 million possible unique combinations. So you're gonna have some cool looking places if you got 38 million possibilities that you can combine and create. So they mint on the March the 18th. I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but they mint on March the 18th. That's the whitelist. Then the public is on the 19th, the day after, and then the actual art reveal. So you won't know they're doing one of these public reveals. I really wish people would stop doing this. I just don't like it. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where just reveal it all as I'm buying it. Let me know what I got. I think that's the better way. The whole reveal stuff sounds cool, sounds dope. I don't think you should bother with it. I think we should just release these things as they need to be released. As I buy it, let me know what I fucking bought. I think that's just how it should be from now on. To be frank. So this is the last thing I'm going to be going over, which is the whitelist opportunity spots and how to get in on that. So qualify by being a key Mamba. So you can be, I mentioned this briefly in the beginning, that 100 keys will get you the opportunity to mint. But if you want one of these better positions to be in, so there are 3 different whitelist rounds you can be qualified for. So the Mamba, the Whale, and the Stacker. So qualify by being a key holder, a key Mamba by having 100,000 plus keys. I mentioned before, even to mint anyways, you need 100 keys. But to be, have better perks and opportunities that come with being in a higher tier, you can get, if you're interested in this project, 1 million keys, a lot, or holding a key card holder V1 card. And you can get these things by being part of the community as well. It's not the only way to get whitelist spots is by having 100 million or 1 million keys. There's also being part of the community. So, and you will not have to hold a position on Discord. The whitelist spot, as our team will whitelist your address directly from Ethereum, Etherscan. Qualify for being a whale, it's 500k to 1 million. And you can complete these steps and sort of finding how to do this. You can pause the video and sort of see these little steps if you want to, which involves like inviting your friends and like, tweeting and doing some Instagram shout outs and things like that in order to sort of raise your chances. But regardless, it seems like you still need to hold 100 keys at the end of the day. And then it drops down. The stacker is 100k to 500k, and you can do the same steps and so forth. So how to apply: when you've met all the requirements for your Discord role, you will have to open the ticket in the support to get your role. You can find this stuff on their Discord that will help you kind of get whitelisted once you hit these requirements, if that's something you're looking forward to. And that's pretty much it. So rounding out at the ending here, it's a very ambitious project. I think they're, what they're trying to do is pretty crazy. They've got a good team on the back end, I would say, a team that can, really help push this to the next level if the people on the front end can sort of guide and navigate the ship in the right direction. I know I keep using like boating references or whatever, but whatever. And that's my only real gripe with it. I think what they're doing is pretty cool, and it's very possible. I have very little faith in the Bapes guys being able to do any of this stuff. But the guys who I'm seeing behind this, especially because they're more centrally focused on like the real estate idea, like that seems pretty cool. I think what will really make and break this project moving forward, should the team on the front really be able to keep it going, is sort of like, is your metaverse going to be the metaverse that people want to chill at? Right? You don't know. You hope that it is. That's the whole plan. That's the idea. That's what they're obviously trying to attain. But is it? We don't know. And, is that worth a $3,000 bet to see if it works? Because if it doesn't work, you are out $3,000. Right? Or whatever Ethereum is worth at the time. I think right now that's roughly $3,000 is 0.8 ETH. So, well, you know what I mean? So I'll leave my bias out of this. I haven't already. You guys already get an idea how I feel about this project. But again, I don't think it's terrible. I think it's capable of doing some really crazy stuff. It just needs to deliver on it, and that's the hard part, is investing in a project like this. If it works, it's gonna be great. High chance that it might not work, not because of the team necessarily, but also because that metaverse has to be the metaverse that kicks off. The market decides what metaverse is going to kick off. Yeah, I mean, you can do all the advertising in the world, but sometimes it's just not enough, especially in such an open space, an open sea, if I may be so bold as to say, as NFTs. And there's just so many coming out regularly every single day. These guys are well known, but and they're building their following nicely. Are they going to be able to still pull it off at the end of the day? We'll have to see. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. To me, that's really the major stuff. It's just the people behind it, and then what they're planning on how you can get involved if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.